26-year-old Wanda Jean Mays disappeared a year ago last May. Nothing in her past explains why she vanished except for two disquieting incidents. 3 years earlier, Wanda had been concerned about her weight, and on two separate occasions, her severe dieting led to anxiety attacks. She was overwhelmed with unknown fears and the desire to escape and hide. Now, this leaves the police with two theories. She may have had another anxiety attack and panicked, or she may have been murdered.
Looking back, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of different things that could have happened. And one of the things, of course, that has always disturbed me is that the fact that she was normal that night.
The night before she disappeared, Wanda had dinner with her parents at a local restaurant a few miles from Lake Guntersville.
She was laughing and talking, and as always, no matter where we were, I would always walk Wanda to her car. And I sensed that she maybe wanted to tell me something. And she almost did. And then she stopped. And then she looked at me, as she always did when she got ready to leave. She would whisper, "I love you." And that's the last words she spoke to me and the last time I saw her.
At 8 p.m. that evening, on her way back to her apartment, Wanda visited her aunt and uncle, Betty and Ty Dorman. They persuaded her to spend the night.
Wanda, time to get up. Wanda! Wanda!
In the morning, Betty couldn't rouse Wanda, so she called Ty to come help.
Wanda! Wanda! Wanda!
I'll get John.
Ty still couldn't open the door, so their grandson John came to help from next door.
Get out of the way.
We should have been tipped off a little by the fact that she agreed to spend the night, which she never would do. Of course, we didn't know about her being on the diet. If I'd known about that, I might have clicked, but we didn't know she'd been dieting, which had triggered that other attack several years before. We felt really guilty because we just didn't pick up on the symptoms.
Wanda!
Ty ran down to the lake and saw a piece of clothing on the dock. It was Wanda's torn and bloody nightgown. At this moment, Ty feared that Wanda had fallen in the water and perhaps drowned.
Boat one, pull your drags and come in a moment, please.
The Alabama State Rescue Squad was summoned, and they began dragging the lake, searching for clues or a body. The water yielded nothing.
We're gonna go out there and check it out.
Throughout the day, Jim and Doc Mays, Wanda's parents, could do little but wait to see if Wanda's body would be found.
I never thought for a minute Wanda was in the water. Wanda is an excellent swimmer and a survivor. She's always been a survivor.
A few hours later, the rescue squad found the canoe that had been seen earlier that morning by the two fishermen and towed it to shore. In the shell of the canoe, they discovered several traces of blood.
Yeah, there's blood in it. Both ends. Down here on this end also. Right.
After seeing the blood in the boat, I knew that she was alone and hurt and needed medical attention. The thing that you feel inside when you have the possibility of losing a daughter is indescribable. I can never be the same until I know what happened to Wanda.
At 10 a.m., homicide investigators were called in. Detective Ed Teal took charge of the investigation.
When we arrived, we examined the canoe. Blood samples taken from that. All this blood was sent to the lab and came back to being her type of blood.
Looks like a little blood stain in this canoe.
This is the most mysterious case that I've ever worked. I've never worked a case in 10 years where someone just vanished. When I came into the room, I noticed that the bed, the cover had been turned back, but no one had ever slept in the bed. Appearance of what was identified as her clothing was lying in a chair. Her purse, her identification, checkbooks, rings, watch, everything was laying on the nightstand. I got to looking at the wall here, the glass that was broke out. There are 2 panes of glass that was broken. The thing that baffles me the most about this is that no one in the house heard the breaking of the glass or the beating of the Venetian blinds. That's a lot of racket.
How could everyone in the house have slept through the sound of 2 panes of glass being broken? And if Wanda was the victim of foul play, why was the bedroom window broken from the inside? Her case is riddled with many disturbing ambiguities. Why would she take off her nightgown and leave it on the dock in the middle of the night? If Wanda did have an anxiety attack, what or who triggered it? And why were there bloodstains in the canoe? Did she cut herself on the window, or was she attacked?
What we've come up with lately is that probably she got out of the canoe and hit back up on land somewhere. The canoe actually was only spotted a few yards off of the bank.
Investigator Teal and members of the Alabama State National Guard searched the campground near the shore of the lake. There was no trace of Wanda. If she had come ashore here, dripping wet and half naked, Teal speculated she may have taken some clothes from a nearby clothesline. There is further evidence that Wanda may still be alive. At 10 o'clock that morning, a neighbor saw a tall young girl walking down Route 62, a few blocks from Lake Guntersville. Her hair was wet, as if she had just been swimming, and she was dressed in a pair of oversized baggy jeans. A day later, at a convenience store 30 miles away in Huntsville, Alabama, another eyewitness saw a girl resembling Wanda sitting in a car with 2 men. The girl looked scared.
It stuck in my mind because she didn't belong with them. They were very rough-looking guys, and she looked frightened. She looked like she was trying to get my attention.
10 minutes later, the eyewitness had a second, longer look at the girl, who was now using a payphone. She stood face to face just a few feet away and is convinced the girl was Wanda.
I believe that she's telling the truth. I believe Wanda's alive. Jim and I pray together for Wanda every night. And I believe that God is honoring that prayer and that we will get Wanda back.
Until we have exhausted every possible means, we're going to continue to look and search and do whatever is necessary, as long as there's a dollar to do it with, and we're going to do it until we find the answer.
The police in Guntersville, Alabama, believe there is a good possibility that Wanda Jean is still alive and may be held captive. They are hoping that anyone with information about Wanda will contact them or their local law enforcement agency.